these traders are underwater. So this is a range type trade right now. Trying to check back into the 11.5 magnet 12 area. Assume support is 09. If 09 can't hold, then we can, check out below that. But these traders are underwater this shelf. Remember the other day we said 14 looked like it was being protected, and then possibility of pulling back overnight. Well, that's what we've done. So don't overtrade this. These traders are definitely trapped until they take out, obviously, the 19. And first things first, the overnight high. I would not overtrade this first few minutes. If you got that pullback, we'd said target should be coming back to test the 12 to 11.5. If you got that already, lock something up pre-market. And that's where the magnet is. So don't overtrade this. We already had one good trade. South side, anybody that took the early trade, if you're up early enough for the gap trade the one time, you made a little something there, and this could be a little choppy as the market decides which way it wants to go. But for now, I'm obviously going to keep this resistance back here, the overnight high, and anything south side we get today below. I'm going to say the 9. As I said earlier, I'd love to see the 9 get tested. One way or the other, this was the preventive move. At the end of the day, the beach ball was up here, and the fact that we came down here inside day on overnight helps me believe there's better balance for now, but I don't want to overthink it. So half gap traders, anybody wants a half gap, which is 15. Like I said, try using that 11.5 area as support. And I don't think we have a strong up day today. I'm not looking for that. And I'm also not looking for a plunge either. So range trade first. Let's take it step by step. And middle traders are probably going to be looking at this 11.5 to 12 as a support area to try to get towards that gap. And part of that, I think, is also looking at your Globex charts. We're coming back into the green and red and blue and pink. So, in my opinion, the correct trade today, first things first, is to battle this last sequence that we've had. And I don't have a strong feeling today. Usually I get a good strong feeling that, hey, we're going to do this, but I think, first things first, we've got to resolve the overnight range before we think of anything else. And first couple of minutes today should be tough. Globex traders, certainly all this is on light volume. And then if you're looking at RTH, you have to see these traders here that wanted, the high side on Friday. They're still underwater. They've gone the wrong way. So they need to get out a little bit first. And you've got to go through this supply. So my bias today, fairly neutral, but I'd like to see this 09 get tested. I think we need to. And angels and demons, if we're looking at that, 16.25 was the demon from Friday. 03, obviously the angel way back here. So this is a regression trade, and the magnet being back here, we'd said pre-market. that the market should regress. If you read the notes on and looked at the spreadsheet, 11.5 was the basic target, and then beyond that was the good fortune part. So still feeling that way, that we should get the heavy magnetic area here, and that'll be more of a decision point as well. So I'm not looking for any big trades. As I said earlier today, I'm just looking to get on the scoreboard, get something going, and first things first. I think we need these traders to probably pay up a little bit. So test for support is as likely as anything. And that means coming back in through this range that we couldn't get into the other day. And a lot of times these moving averages, they'll fool you because they kind of constrict and they're not as helpful. So a lot of times I don't want that, be part of my thinking. And if we can get to the 11.5, anybody that's taking the, fading this resistance zone, don't get too cute. You can always keep a trailer, but I think we're going to have a little bit of chop here as this 11.5 to 12 area gets resolved. Okay, there's our magnet right there. And I said earlier, anybody that's aggressive that wants long side, trying your 11.5 and 9 is probably a little bit more conservative. And I like the short side to come back into that magnet, truthfully. And like I said, I'm not looking for big trades. I can get a point and a half, get on the scoreboard. And I think we're going to have some, chop right now. Don't go thinking home runs right now. Just too early in the day and the week to be thinking home runs. And it's going to take some time to resolve this. So if you're playing early today, grab a point or so and be happy with that. If you played pre-market, we had said let's think about trying to get back to the 12 to 11.5. We've done that. Right? That was the game plan. Try to get back into that 12, 11.5. So that's been done. And this was a smoking bar, and we said when we opened up, right? We said, let's fade this because this is obviously the gap trade one time, and let's look for balance. So target should be the 12 to 11.5, and we got that. So don't overthink it. I mean, anytime we can get a regression trade back into a rotation higher high, that you still have to take out that last low to make any more progress. So you need to be conservative in these kind of trades. And if you miss it and weren't playing pre-market, then it makes it even harder because now you're shorting much closer to that target. And I got 15 as the half gap. And this chart's very helpful today, and so is the 30. Okay, take something right here. And now match it up with this chart. All right, good trade. Anybody that got either way this morning, and if you miss one way, take the convenient trade the other way. It's one way to play it, especially when we have no strong bias. And we said get on the scoreboard, grab a couple points, and be happy.